isn't quite right.
That's sketchy. Someone must have noticed. Someone else probably called it in already.
Coffee beans are the real magic beans.
Excuse me, officer?
It's easy to sit back and assume someone else will take care of it. Be that someone else. Speak up when you notice suspicious activity.
Welcome back. If your kids are applying to college this year, you know how stressful it can be for you and your students. So Ernie with SEEC Financial is here with us this morning to help us kind of navigate through the process. And I'm sure you get a lot of questions from parents this time of year.
Quite a bit. My phone's ringing.
One of the things we wanted to talk about today was picking your major and why it's important for kids to kind of have an idea before they go into school, right?
Right. They should have the major all nailed down. What's happening today is it's taking these students 5.8 years to get that 4-year degree, and a lot of times it's because they didn't pick their major prior to going to school.
Okay.
So what happens is during the orientation, when they're doing their school visits, the school administrators will actually say, listen, don't worry about coming in with a declared major for your first year or even two. You can always pick the major later, but that's adding time for these kids to go to school. And as we know, even our public schools today are $25,000 a year on the low side. Right. So that would represent $50,000 of additional cost for no value.
And that can be a costly mistake for both the student and the parent.
Usually it is for both, right?
Yeah. So if kids are a little bit hesitant to pick a major, I mean, what kind of advice could parents give? I mean, I guess they could always switch a couple years, worst case scenario.
That is the problem, yeah. What the best thing for them to do is to get the student involved with some type of a shadow program or internship. Let's say that the student says they want to, they think they want to go into the medical field, so they may volunteer at a convalescent home. So when they come home from that day at work, from volunteering, and they say to the parent, geez, I had a great day and I helped some senior citizens get their food and get around and they were smiling at me and I really enjoyed it, that might be the field for that student.
Right.
If, however, on the other hand, they come home and say, you know, the place really smelled and I can't get that smell out of my nose and I really couldn't wait to get out of there, that probably is not the field for that student.
Right. So maybe think about that before you're even applying, getting an internship or a job in the field you're looking at.
That's right.
Do you get a lot of questions about the financial aid forms too? I just want to ask about that because I know that's a stressful thing for parents, filling out those FAFSA forms.
Yeah, the FAFSA form is actually the smaller one. That's for public schools, 130 questions this year. The profile form for private schools has 300 questions.
Wow.
So you'll be applying to both private and public, so it's 450 questions that you have to answer, and that's every year.
And you have to fill out both if you're applying to both types of schools.
Yes, you do.
Which many kids are.
You should, because you want to see what type of offer you're going to get from all the different types of schools. Whoever's going to give you the best finance package, you certainly want to take a harder look at.
Right. So you do a bunch of free workshops, right? So
yes.
You can answer all these questions. Do you have one coming up?
Yes, we do. October 25th at the Plainville Library, and there is no cost for that, so I certainly invite the parents to come down and even bring their student if they think they may want to attend.
So do the workshops focus on one topic, or it's kind of a free-for-all? You'll answer everything.
We cover everything from soup to nuts. As a matter of fact, I even ask the parents to hold their questions till the end, because there's so much information that I give out that they have never heard about before.
Right.
Of course, they're curious and their hands are up throughout the whole workshop.
What are you most often getting questions on? Is there one topic that they're the most curious about?
It's cost. Almost 90% of the time it is cost. And there's a lot of ways they can get that cost down if they just know how to play this game, so to speak. So that's why it's important they come and try to get as much free information as they can to see how much cost they can reduce theirs by.
Especially if it's your first child, but even if it's your second or your third, these things are always changing.
The federal government has a habit of changing everything, and they are even changing the ID numbers to get on your own FAFSA. So I called the Department of Education and asked them why this was going on. It seems like as soon as the parents are comfortable with it, they change it, start that learning curve all over again. And they said, unfortunately, there's hackers out there trying to get into the students' accounts because there's a lot of money involved.
Wow.
So now they have to change their passwords every 15 months.
Okay. Good information. Thank you so much. And if folks want to head out to that workshop, do they have to sign up ahead of time?
Yes, all they have to do is call the number.
I think it was on the screen just a while ago. There you go.
Okay, there you go. So if they call that number, they can register for the workshop, and we do appreciate if they call ahead of time, but they're welcome to even drop in.
Okay, Ernie, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And let's send it over to Mike to get a check on the forecast.
We've had a beautiful sunrise on what's been a cold morning. We've had some patchy frost, but here, Steve in Franklin and Glastonbury took this picture of the sunrise. Some high, thin cirrus clouds are already starting to come in as the system is approaching one that'll give us rain tomorrow, but not today. And you can see how it's still cold out there. We've got low 40s from Windsor Locks to Hartford, but a lot of towns are still seeing lows in the 30s, or temperatures in the 30s, I should say. And in fact, as the day goes on, we're expecting comfortable weather with readings going anywhere from 58 to, let's say, 63 or 64. Now, tonight's not going to be as cold as the clouds come in, and then tomorrow we do see some showers coming into the picture here, as you see with our future cast. Certainly through the morning there'll be a few, and certainly in the afternoon there will be as well. So we look forward to a wet Monday. How much rain are we going to get? We'll talk about that next.
After 20 years of protecting investments for families, my boys will tell you, I'm kind of a penny pincher. Turn off the lights, guys. I stood up to the mayor of Hartford to reduce wasteful spending, help close a $50 million budget deficit, and eliminated the city council slush fund.
There's nothing in there.
There's still some left. I'm Sean Wooden, and I approve this message because I'll make smart investments to maximize returns while investing in the right priorities for Connecticut.
You like this, but you also like this. Oh, that would be nice too. So would this. Hey, no problem. It's extended. Through Monday night, you can get it all at Pilgrim's Furniture in Mattress City. Up to 65% off, a sales tax discount, no interest for 2 years with no money down, and free delivery. Now, you don't have to choose between discounts, financing, and delivery. Through Monday night at 9, you can get it all. Only at Pilgrim's Furniture in Mattress City.
I'm the most qualified and experienced candidate for Attorney General, not because I'm a politician, but because I'm not one. I'm a prosecutor who spent my career fighting to make Connecticut safe. I was the first state's attorney to win a conviction for the completed crime of human trafficking. I've seen firsthand the dangerous work law enforcement does to keep us safe. I'm Sue Hatfield, and I approve this message because I have the experience that matters to be Attorney General.
Sue Hatfield for Attorney General.
People come to Cloder Farms because they are looking for quality, handcrafted furniture.
And right now, all Cloder Farms dining room furniture is 15% off during the Cloder Farms Columbus Day sale.
We have something just for you.
On the web at cloderfarms.com. Only one station has the team, the technology, and the truck. Introducing the all-new Early Warning Weather Tracker.
More cameras, the best tools. Tough enough to tackle any storm.
Sponsored by your Connecticut Chevy dealers on Eyewitness News. Covering Windsor and all of Hartford County, Eyewitness News is everywhere. Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News this morning.
Welcome back. 8 o'clock now on your Sunday. We start this hour off with the weather. Let's take you outside. Here's a look at our iCam over Torrington and our iCam over Bradley International Airport. It is a pretty cold start to our Sunday out there. Thanks for being with us. I'm Caitlin Nuclo. We want to send it over to meteorologist Mike Cameron for a check on that forecast. Good morning, Mike.
You know, we had a 29 in Colebrook.
Wow.
I saw a report of a 33 in Chaplin, so quite cold out there this morning.
Temperatures just keep going down with every half hour. We have a new cold one to announce.
You're welcome. But we will see them turn the tide and actually go up going over the next couple of hours. As a result of some of this cold and earlier clear skies, we actually had enough stability to create some fog, and there's still a little bit of that patchy fog around. Don't be surprised if you encounter that, but that'll go away pretty quickly here past 10 o'clock. And what we'll have are just filmy clouds and sunshine mixed about the sky through the rest of the morning. Temperatures will be climbing through the 40s and into the 50s by noontime, and then upper 50s, lower 60s. That should be the top-off point this afternoon, and we'll have a partly cloudy sky to go along with that, and there won't be a lot of wind either. There's very light to no wind at all right now, and I think the whole day is going to be very similar in that way. Some of our weather watchers, we've got Ziggy in Enfield at 35, 37 in Bristol, 40 in East Hampton at Laura's. As I mentioned, Joan in Chaplin had 33. Todd and Colebrook, 29. Nancy in Bristol had 37. We had Eric in Mansfield Center at 34. Same thing with Mary in East Thompson. She had a 34-degree temperature. So quite cold out there this morning, according to our weather watchers. And you can see, starting to see some towns are coming into the mid-40s, especially along the shoreline. And this is where it's been mildest all along because of the effect of the water. You can see how we have New Haven at 46 and Bridgeport at 45. If anybody sees 60 to 63, maybe even a 64-degree temperature, it will be here from New Haven to Bridgeport. I think Hartford later on today has a shot at maybe a 61, maybe a 62. Upper 50s for the hills of northwest and northeastern Connecticut. And it's going to be partly sunny. It should be pretty good. There is rain building, though, across the Ohio Valley and through the Virginias. This rain is going to come our way, but it won't until tomorrow. We will see patchy clouds as a result of this system. You're seeing that over Pennsylvania. But this bulge of rain that you're seeing here, that comes in tomorrow. And as early as the morning ride into school and work, Caitlin, there could be at least a few showers around. We'll be taking a look at that with Futurecast. I also think we have a shot at a heavy downpour or two. We'll talk about exactly when and why on that. And we'll also discuss how much rain. We'll see you then.
All right, Mike, thank you. We're following developing news this morning. A plane leaving from Waterbury-Oxford Airport crashed in the Atlantic Ocean just off the coast of Long Island, killing at least one person. Officials say the crash was reported just after 11 o'clock yesterday morning. They responded to an area south of Long Island near Quogue. The FAA says the plane crashed 3 miles from an airport. Eyewitnesses told authorities that the plane broke up before hitting the water, and the Coast Guard says they will continue to look for survivors.
And possibly had 3 people on board. It's still a search and recovery at this point. The Coast Guard, along with other marine assets, will continue.
It's not clear who was piloting the plane or if the person killed was from Connecticut. Eyewitness News has learned the plane refueled in Danbury, where passengers got on board, then took off for South Carolina. New this morning, Meriden police are searching for a suspect related to a shooting that happened earlier this week. Police say they're looking for this man, Rafael Santiago. Officials are warning people not to approach him and call Meriden police if you have any information. Now this morning in Norwich, police are investigating after an 8-year-old was hit by a car on North Main Street. Officers say the child was taken to the hospital with a serious leg injury. The road was shut down for about 3 hours while police investigated that crash. If you saw it or if you have any information, call Norwich Police. And Watertown police are hoping surveillance video will help you identify the suspects in an armed robbery. Take a look. It happened at Checkers Food Store on Sunnyside Avenue yesterday morning. Police say a white or Hispanic woman went into the store wearing gray sweatpants, a dark sweatshirt, and a white towel covering her head. The clerk told officers she threatened them with a large knife, grabbed cash, and then took off. They're now looking for a dark gray Mazda 6 with tinted windows and a loud exhaust. If you have any information, Watertown police want to hear from you. Now this morning, a 17-year-old boy is recovering after Waterbury police say he was shot in the stomach. It happened Friday night on Division Street. Officers say the teenager is expected to be okay. His identity hasn't been released yet. The shooting happened about 11 o'clock Friday night and is still under investigation. Happening today, we're right in the middle of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and today you have a chance to make an impact on the disease that affects hundreds of thousands of women. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is live in New Haven this morning, where strides are being made against breast cancer today. Good morning, Matthew.